Okay, folks, I found this not far from where I live. Obviously, someone was so fucking drunk that they forgot to bring it with them, and yeah, they just shot themselves in the foot, so to speak. But indeed, Christmas is indeed what society typically calls the silly season, where people get drunk and people do stupid things, and you get your office Christmas parties where people sometimes want to sit on the photocopier and take a photocopy of their bum or their genitals, and they think it's a joke, and they end up destroying the photocopier or ending up with lacerations to their arse and their nether regions. And yeah, it's just really silly the way people call Christmas the silly season, because people just love to get pissed and get smashed and blotto, whatever words you want to apply to this activity. And somehow this one backfired on them. Anyway, let's see what it is. It is none other than a bottle of piss, a bottle of beer. Some silly person has left it behind and didn't know about it because they must have been so fucking smashed. So we're going to utilise this piece of leftover beer some silly person has left behind. It's just starting to roll on its own. Trying to keep it there. So yeah, people do like to call Christmas the silly season because people do get drunk, and Christmas is meant to be about love and about, what can I say, folks? It's not the silly season, folks, but a lot of people like to make it out as the silly season. And we've got the silly season happening nicely here. We've got a nice picture of the fish, the marlin or whatever. I can utilise that. Great Northern. But basically, yeah, people, I don't drink. I don't have alcohol. I don't know what to do with this, whether to take the cap off and just tip it down the sink. I have no use for it, folks. I'm not a drinker. I don't even drink in moderation. I drink not at all. I'm what's known as in the old days, I think the term was teetotaler. A teetotaler, someone who's a non-drinker, basically. And I don't want to drink, even though there's nothing wrong with a bit of an alcohol, folks. Alcohol's okay, but I advise that it's in moderation that you drink it, because you can do some stupid fucking things when you're on the piss, when you're fucking high on the piss. Like sitting on the photocopier at the office, at the office Christmas party. Really, that's very dangerous, and people, seems to be the traditional thing that people get up to at the office party. Or doing other things like having sex with the boss, that sort of shit. Having sex with your co-workers, and that's really bad as well. And that's come up looking quite a treat. I think we can work with that. So yeah, we really find that people do some silly things when they get drunk, and that's why, and I guess that's why it's become known as the silly season. But basically, I don't see it as that. Look, you can have a bit of fun. Look, I'm wearing my hat. I'm having a bit of fun, a bit of spreading a bit of cheer, but I'm not interested in doing stupid things like getting drunk and sitting on the photocopier. The photocopier would end up collapsing. This scanner section would just go crash. Even if I'm not that heavy, and if I sat on it, I'd break it. It's not designed for that kind of thing. And I think companies like this company that built this photocopier, Konica Minolta, probably secretly designed it that way so that if people do break it, they'll end up having to replace it with a new machine. And Konica, guess what? Konica Minolta, ka-ching, 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 makes lots of money out of customers' foolishness. Or should I say, not so much the customer themselves, the company, but the customer's employees. And it's really not a good thing, folks. It is not a good thing. So and that's it. Don't sit on the photocopier, folks. Don't sit on it. It is not able to take that much weight. The glass can only take 2 kilos. This part would end up collapsing. You'll end up writing off the whole machine, and guess what? You're going to be footing the bill for the boss. And you're going to be out of pocket. You might even lose your job. You know, you don't know what the fuck is going to happen if you fucking sit on the photocopier, folks. It's a message I like to give out, you know, because really it's a big problem. You know, I've never seen it happen in my experience, but I've heard so many times, and yeah, it's a common problem, and it's just like, and if you stay away from the piss, or at least just have maybe one bottle of beer instead of 10, or whatever amount a typical drunk person drinks, well, basically, yeah, you can still enjoy yourself and socialise and talk about what you're going to do in the next year and what you're planning on doing and what your family's up to. You know, you don't want to end up on the dole either. You don't want to end up losing your job and having a bad reference from your boss, because you're not going to find another job. You know, you got to look after your job. You can't live on air anymore. You know, you can't survive on the dole. So just be careful and just don't get drunk, and don't sit on the photocopier. Don't have sex with the boss or sex with your co-workers or with anyone. You might lose your fucking partner. You might lose your wife or your husband. You know, you're not gonna. It's not going to be good, folks. And your Christmas is not going to be so merry after all. Let's see how we go with this. That's come up looking better than I thought. I think we can now call this demo quits.